The idea of starting kids at an early age to understand the value of the environment around them leads then to young adults deciding what they're going to do with their life. And if this early knowledge, this early kind of acclimating yourself as a human being to the environment around you can lead to a life in your adulthood where you appreciate that. We as human beings are part of the system. It's ours to take care of, it's ours to hold in trust. To hold in trust for those around us, to hold in trust for the next generation, and to teach the next generation that their mission is to carry that forward.
The way we conduct ourselves, the way this mission works for the Pennypack Ecological Restoration Trust is we're hosts. We're nothing more than hosts to a larger system. We have 900 acres. And those 900 acres are for animals other than ourselves, for plant communities that support those animals. In many ways, this space here is also is hosting what we hope to be a variety of educational experiences. This is just a shell with a big mouth to the outdoors, and it's here to be occupied by teachers, by clubs, by Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, by artists, and it's up to them to create relationships with this place, to grab a piece of what's out there, bring it here, and create focus. This is just enough shelter to look at something and interpret it, create a relationship with it. Maybe most importantly, understand the larger context through that example that you bring in here.
In my education, my graduate work, and in my practice is that what's effective in terms of having young people learn, and it applies to older adults, it applies to all learners, is that it needs to be hands-on, it needs to be practical, it really needs to be concrete and not esoteric or somehow that it's separate and apart. And that it has to be, when I talk about hands-on, that you're doing something. And we want people to think about when they're doing volunteer work here, or if they're simply walking through, to understand that there's a deeper purpose. And it does all flow from that general appreciation of nature.
I'm really looking forward to the BLBB Field Station opening up because it's such an awesome space for, you know, not just a classroom. You can open the doors, go right outside, bring the learning in and out of the classroom. It's a fluid space. Go down to the creek, collect macro, micro invertebrates and bring them back to the field station and look at them under microscopes. It's authentic. The kids can learn here. So having the field station as a learning center to do some professional development with teachers in other districts would be a wonderful opportunity so that they are no longer just teaching environment inside the classroom, but taking their kids outside and learning about it there.
Most kids come at entomology with two thoughts. Honeybees are the only bees, and bees are scary.
Yeah.
And so what I always love to do is introduce them to the friendly ones. Get them realizing that there are so many species out there, and the ones that they've had bad interactions with are just a very small part of the web. And The ones that they maybe have never even noticed are beautiful, interesting, and everywhere. And if they can start to look at the plants that they see out there and see the ways bees are interacting with the plants, it's an amazing tool in terms of them understanding the importance of keeping those spaces open and available and functional.
I was introduced to the Trust back in 2014, and I said, wow, this place is amazing. I said, somebody should teach yoga here. I was certified in Kundalini, which is a strong yoga. So I had a whole bunch of people come in. I have a core group now. During my time here volunteering, I was meeting the staff, and then they got used to me being here. So Chris Dartley does a lot with trees, so he had me wrapping trees, or I'm putting the fences around them, making the fences. And so that got me interested in reforestry. You know, it makes you feel good that this was a nice place to be, to do whatever you want to do.
My name is Harris Brown. This is my wife, Frances Brown. We're volunteers here at Pennypack. We have a couple different duties that we really enjoy. Primarily taking care of the birds. We're stewards for the birds here. We build, design, install, maintain the 58 nesting boxes on the property. My wife Fran is in charge of the bird blind. She takes care of all the feeders, the bird bath, monitors all the birds there.
I can remember my first time here. When I start walking the paths and the trails, one of the things that I noticed was all the singing of the birds and everything, and being a birder, that was a plus for me. Walking down, I kept seeing all these birds flying around the trees, and I just started to realize, my goodness, these trees are so important for our birds. And I thought, not only that, look what Pennypack has to offer us. We have such great opportunities here to enjoy it. I love the fact that they have a great staff, and we actually call them our second family because we're here a lot. Sometimes we feel like we live here. Whenever I have a question about a leaf or flower that I don't know, they're right there to answer everything. And I think that's really important, not just to me, but to people that come into Pennypack, just the fact that they are there for us.
My name's Richard Terry. I'm the president of a local Trout Unlimited chapter. We meet here at the Trust once a month. We use the facilities both inside and outside. We have events to educate people on fishing, both our members and members of the Trust. We try and have a great partnership that we provide services of our expertise in fishing, and we utilize the local stream that twice a year we stock it so that individuals can fish here in the local area. But it's a nice feeling to see someone cast a fly rod and get it right. And you get 3 or 4 casts in and you catch a fish if you're lucky. If not, it's fun to just be outside. But it's a nice feeling to see individuals pick up something new and pass on what I've learned.
My connection to birds and Audubon and all of that goes back more than 30 years. But after retiring, I got involved with Wyncote Audubon and other bird clubs like the Delaware Valley Ornithology Club, and increasingly have become involved with the citizen science projects that we do as part of those organizations. So I come here because this is a fantastic place for those kinds of activities, and it's a fantastic place for organizations like the ones I'm involved with to do everything from just recreational birding and just a great hike in the morning to doing citizen science. The partnership we've developed with PERT, between Wyncote Audubon and PERT, has just started to evolve into something pretty special. And why is it special? Firstly, it's a place we come to where we already feel like it's part of who we are. There's a lot of common ground between PERT and what it's trying to do and what it offers and what a lot of other organizations like Wyncote Audubon are trying to do. We could do so much more if we collaborate as opposed to try and do it individually. So I think this is a great place to collaborate with.
As we look ahead here at PERT and what we've been accomplished, what has happened as a result of this capital campaign, the additional resources that are here, everything from the solar, the geothermal, to having the educational space that we have not had before, and some of the flexibility of the space we have, we can now, I think, plan in a more productive and serious way about where programming at PERT needs to go in the future, the kind of partnerships we need to make with other organizations, both upstream and downstream as far as the watershed, and even more broadly in terms of conservation and advocacy.
The mission of the Pennypack Trust is to be a standard of excellence in restoration and stewardship. Now is our chance to be a standard of excellence in education, teaching people about that restoration, about that stewardship, so they can do it at home, at their school, at their nature preserve. Part of our mission is to promote the Pennypack Preserve as a research-friendly laboratory space or field station. So we want to become a place to host those affinity groups, to make them welcome here, to become a hub for the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, Pennsylvania Master Naturalist programs, mycology groups, birding groups, Wyncote Audubon Society, Trout Unlimited. We want them to come here, practice their skills, learn from us, teach us, and continue to grow. The BLBB Field Station is the next step forward to enhance our mission to remain forever in the community. But it's the first step. The next step is building our funding, building our staff, building our equipment, building our curriculum. All of that takes time, funding, finances, and people. So without building that connection and that community and the partnerships, this space won't go very far. We want everyone to have access to this nature preserve in the way that fits their passion.